It's one of the finer mountain biking parks in the state, Slaughter Pen Hollow, here in Bentonville, and we're going to check it out on this week's show. And then we'll go kayaking on the Little Maumelle River at Pinnacle Mountain State Park, and the next stop will be River National Wildlife Refuge. And we'll close it all out by hunting for diamonds at the only diamond mine in the world that's open to the public. So now, let's hit the trail here at Slaughter Pen Hollow. The Slaughter Pen Hollow Mountain Bike Complex is located only a couple of miles north of the Bentonville Square near the intersection of Business 71 and Northwest A Street.
Slaughter Pen originated from some old slaughter houses that existed in this valley back here. And so most of the original trails, the first phase one along this ridge line up here, about 5.2 miles, and now we are basically working on the fourth phase right now with a company called Progressive Trail Design.
Now some of these trails are, I guess, from anywhere from beginner all the way to the most difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have, most trails are, I'd say, beginner intermediate. Some favor a little bit more intermediate. Most of the trails do have alternate lines, which some more of the advanced or expert riders, will attempt or ride those more often than a lot of the main lines. But again, just a really well put together system of about 14 miles of single track.
Tell us a little bit about the tactical stuff here, like the drop-off.
Yeah, you'll see right over here, we'll show you the drop-off. Some more elevated log rides that have been put in since, the early days all the way up till now. Some elevated log rides, some ladder rides, some rock gardens, some technical lines that are meant for, more progressive riders to push themselves, to work on bike handling skills. Give you a little bit more of a feel than just say a smooth piece of single track.
And should you get tired of biking on the single track, Slaughter Pen also offers a free ride or freestyle area if you really want to cut loose. Since Slaughter Pen is a popular destination with mountain bikers from a 3 to 4 state area, it does receive a lot of wear and tear, especially on weekends. So maintaining the park's trail system is critical.
A group called Friends at Slaughter Pen Trail, so the acronym FAST, F-A-S-T. And we have over 40 active members now, and basically we maintain these trails once a month through a work day. We all come out 8 to noon, do a big work day, get 40 people out on the trails, 14 miles of single track. You can really take care of quite a bit. And then, in between, just very conscientious, trail riders, like myself, knock what we call a baby head out of the way, a small, like a big rock, fist-sized rock or bigger, knock it out of the way, or a down limb, go ahead and move it out of the way, while not removing trail obstacles that are meant to be there. But yeah, a great organization that puts on the annual Slaughter Pen Jam Festival out here.
So, for a trail that forces you to catapult out of your comfort zone, not to mention enjoying all the beauty throughout 180 acres no matter what time of the year you ride, check out the Slaughter Pen Hollow Challenge for yourself. You'll keep wanting to come back for more. At Pinnacle Mountain State Park, after you get tired of climbing Pinnacle, you can strap yourself into a kayak and head on down the river, the Little Maumelle River. Joining us is Susan Staffield, who's going to guide us along.
They already got turtles, so that was good. There's a couple little baby turtles.
After shoving off, it doesn't take long until you start seeing some glimpses of wildlife, especially turtles, sunning themselves on logs. Ah yes, the life of a turtle. You'll find Canada geese out on this float as well. Also, the sounds of songbirds to serenade you.
Well, we try to do these floats pretty regularly. We rent canoes, we do guided floats. It's just a fabulous river to paddle on. There's a lot of wildlife to see, a lot of different trees, and just some really beautiful scenery of Pinnacle Mountain State Park.
And the route is about what, 4.5 miles?
Our guided float route is about 4.5 miles, and we try to paddle around a little bit once we're down there and look for a good place to eat lunch, and then we'll paddle down a little bit farther and backtrack back.
You were telling me about the changes here on the river.
Yeah, it's a really interesting river to paddle because up by the park, by our picnic area, it tends to be more of a flowing river, a little bit skinnier. As you go downriver, you get closer to the Arkansas River and the dam that's on the Arkansas River. So it almost turns into a little bit of a cypress swamp. Gets very deep, very wide.
There's a little critter behind you over there.
Oh yeah, that's a broad-banded water snake.
See, I knew the first wildlife creature that we'd see is probably a water snake.
That's one of our really common snakes to
Yeah.
see out here. Not venomous, but they can be kind of mean.
Well, as long as we don't confront an anaconda, we'll be all right. Little snakes I can handle, but when they start to get over 10 feet, then that presents a bit of a problem. So I guess for a family outing, this is a kind of an average decent float then.
Yeah, it's really great because in a canoe you can take your family with you.
Mm-hmm.
In a kayak you got to be a little bit older because you got to paddle on your own. But for some of the teenagers and stuff, it can be a real adventure to take a kayak out on the river.
All right, well let's head on down and see what else we can see. What makes this float trip so unique is that normally folks don't expect to experience a wilderness-type float like this just minutes away from Little Rock. But if you're pressed for time and only have, say, 3 hours max or so, then this is the way to go. And if you're deciding whether to go canoe or kayak, I would recommend kayak, since there are a few tight spots along the Little Maumelle where timber has managed to jam up a bit. But all in all, a decent float, so close to Little Rock. done yet. Averaging 3 to 10 miles wide and almost 90 miles in length, most certainly qualifies the White River National Wildlife Refuge to be the state's largest. The refuge also contains the largest number of native black bears, more than 200, and Arkansas's largest tree, a bald cypress 120 feet tall and more than 13 feet in diameter. We made our trip not along the White River, but along Indian Bay, located in the south unit of the refuge.
The refuge now contains 160,000 acres and is viewed as the largest remaining tract of bottomland hardwoods left in the lower Mississippi alluvial valley. That size and the value of those bottomland hardwoods as a forested wetland is recognized around the world, and the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands has recognized it as a wetlands of international importance, primarily for its migratory bird value as well as biodiversity and just the wide range of flora and fauna that we have here.
It's not just the ducks and the geese too during the wintertime. It's during spring and summer you have all these songbirds and you know, I mean, just birds galore.
Sure, it is a very valuable and productive habitat for not only wintering waterfowl, mallards. A lot of people, that's what they think of the Delta of Arkansas, but these large tracts of bottomland hardwoods are critical habitat for nesting songbirds. And a lot of these birds winter in Central and South America, and then they come back here to nest. The warblers and ovenbirds and parulas, cuckoos, a lot of different birds that use this habitat for their nesting areas.
And maybe somewhere the ivory bill, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, maybe somewhere there's one out there or a pair still out there.
Well, tell us about the importance of the flooding here that you know that we see all along.
The flooding is really what is the dynamic driving force of this bottomland hardwood habitat. It is the force that shaped the topography, or what we call geomorphology, and you look out across the delta and you think it's flat, but there's little subtle inundations and little drainage patterns and little ridges and little swales that were all created by this annual flood pulse and flooding. And so that shapes the landform of the bottoms, and just minor variations in that flooding determines what vegetative species we have, and they are all capable of withstanding different depths and duration of flooding. So out across the floodplain, there is a variety of tree species that are adapted to that particular site, and some species as much as a foot or two of variation will change which species would occur on that site. So the flooding shapes the landform, determines the vegetation that's on the floodplain, and then it is really the driving engine that nourishes the system, brings in new sediments every year. And from an aquatic standpoint, it is really the habitat, that flood pulse. We're here in the spring. This is excellent, what we call floodplain fishery habitat, that in these years like we are having now, when we have a prolonged spring flooding, the availability of fishery floodplain habitat for spawning and early development of fish fry this is excellent habitat. And in those flood years, we have the number of acres of available habitat increases many-fold. So we know in the years when we have a good spring flood that the fishery reproduction is excellent, and that shows up in the following years in those age classes of fish.
Bottomland hardwood forests are indeed the South's most productive habitats, In the density of this wilderness, more than 70 species of trees grow, providing a food source that is always available for wildlife due to all the acorns, berries, and seeds which are produced on differing schedules throughout the year. Combine that with more than 300 lakes and ponds on the refuge, and you have a haven that's not only for wildlife, but for people as well. It's the only place in the entire world where you and I can come dig for diamonds and keep what we find. The Crater of Diamonds State Park near Murfreesboro. For some, it only takes one visit. Others aren't so lucky, such as myself. I've been coming here countless number of times and have yet to find a diamond. Maybe today, just maybe, will be my lucky day. Diamonds happen to be one of the oldest things on Earth, anywhere from 3 to 3.5 billion years old. This 37-acre field is the eroded surface of an ancient volcanic pipe that 100 million years ago brought to the surface diamonds and other semi-precious stones, making the crater a rockhound's paradise.
Well, I like it. I love rocks. I've been searching for about 2 hours for nice rocks, and finally I found something. It's like, finally I can give up.
You can't give up yet? You haven't found the diamond.
I found something.
Yeah.
We live in New Hampshire and we saw it in Vacation magazine several years back, and we just sort of offhandedly said that someday we would come here, and someday is this week, so that's why we're here. It's the reason we came to Arkansas, and we thought it would be a good time for the kids. They like to dig, and hopefully we can make that pay off.
That's right.
Like most parents would wish.
Now you have a system here between you and your husband, I understand?
Yeah, I'm hoping that he's digging deep where nobody else has dug, and then I'll sift and get messy. And we brought a change of clothes. We knew that this would be messy. We didn't realize it would be as tough as it is, because the dirt is really thick and it's clay. So they don't usually tell you that in the magazines. So, but it's still a lot of fun, and I guess everybody hopes that they find something. So we're hoping.
From far and near they come here, some for the better part of half of their lives, and have even written books about it.
I normally dig and wash for diamonds. I found all my diamonds that way because I've spent most of my time that way. But they just plowed last Thursday, and then it rained Friday and Saturday, so I was in here Sunday and spent the whole day surface searching. Now, I didn't find any on the surface, but 3 diamonds were found on the surface Sunday. So I knew that combination of plowing and a good hard 3.5-inch rain was going to expose some diamonds, and I was right, but I didn't walk down the right row. Somebody else beat me to them, but that's all right. I found, you know, my share of diamonds here, hundreds, and 2 of them over a carat. My largest have been found within the last year. A 2.04 carat yellow, gorgeous Easter sunrise diamond, and a 2.13 carat brown that I called a brown rice diamond. But had that one cut, and it ended up being a lovely 1.25 carat, gorgeous marquee cut diamond. I'm amazed at how little kids will find diamonds out here. They've outdone me, and I've been doing this for years, but you tell a kid there's diamonds out in this field to be found, and they believe you, and they go out and they're determined they're going to search till they find a diamond, and a lot of them do. It's amazing the diamonds that kids have turned up out here, but adults, sometimes you think, well, it it sounds too good to be true, so there probably aren't diamonds out here, and then they don't find something. But on the contrary, there was a lady from Pennsylvania here March 31st of 2010 that came out here, and a half an hour after reaching the park for the first time in her life, stepped over to Beatty's Hill and kicked some rocks with her toe, and a 3-carat diamond rolled out, a beautiful yellow that weighed 3.17 carats. So she did better in a half an hour than I've done in 32 years. But that's kind of the beauty and excitement and amazement of the places. You never know when or where a diamond's going to turn up, and how big, how pretty, what color. That's what's fascinating about it.
Be nice if I could just come up with a big diamond right now.
Every year, nearly 1,000 diamonds are found here at the crater. This particular day, a father and son outing proved quite successful with this nice 2 3/4 carat gem.
We've been here before. We've been here last year. We were here for about 4 days, and then we came here again this year because we were on vacation. Decided to stop in here again, and this is our second day here. We're really going to stay for probably 2 days. So we've been sifting through the stuff with the sluicing box all day, and we decided after a while just to stop looking through, just do some surface looking. And we were walking around, and I wanted to walk down one particular aisle, and I just stopped to look at some little piece of mica, and I found a diamond in someone's shoe print. It was just a little tip sticking up, but when I dug it out, it was pretty big.
Moments before, I said, you know, we're walking, we haven't found anything, but we're walking on diamonds, and people are walking on dozens or hundreds of diamonds, and they don't even know it. And lo and behold, only look down at something, and there, somebody's shoe print. There it is.
Now, if at the end of the day here you don't find your diamond, there is an alternative. You can pick up one of these in the gift shop. Not too shabby, about 100 carats.
The biggest diamond found in the United States was found right here at the Crater of Diamonds, a 40 1/4 carat diamond found in 1924, and they named it the Uncle Sam diamond. But the biggest diamond ever to be found in the United States is going to be found right here too. That will outdo that. There may be a diamond up to 200 carats found here someday, and when a tourist turns up that 200 carat diamond, there's going to be standing room only at this park. Everybody's going to want to be out here then. But I've decided to come before the crowd hits, and maybe I'll be the one to find that 200 carat diamond. So if you've never been here before, it'd be well worth your while to pay a visit at least once. You never know. That one time may be all it takes. And for more on this destination, plus many of our others, and to read my blog or to order a copy of an episode, visit our website, aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas.